pizza and beer break. Mrs. has gone away for the evening, so what better way to spend the night than cracking open a beer, putting on some music, and putting a Welded Diff in the Track Hack. Now before we get started, huge shout out to Diff Lab. They really have been helping us out with things like the race car diff, which is pretty much the only part on the car that hasn't broken as of yet. I actually got in touch with Mike and I said, hey man, can you weld the diff for us? Not kind of his speciality. He had never done it before because he's always working with LSDs. So he said, no, you know what I'll do? I've got a couple of diffs around here. I've got a couple of gear sets. Let me see what I can do for you and then we'll weld it up. What he's given us is something a bit special. Here we've got a E46 case all welded up. But the special part about this diff is 4.1 ratio. This car is standard 3.07. The ratio change is huge and it's exactly what you need in an underpowered car. Now they are quite rare ratios, but any sort of upgrade from the 3.07 on an E46 will do very well for drifting. Cars up on the stands. Safety tip from the man who wears thongs whenever he works on cars. For those that don't know and who aren't in Australia, thongs are those things over there, sandals. Tire underneath the sill, as well as putting it on some jack stands. That way if any of the jack stands fail, it falls on the tire, you won't get squashed. So we'll get underneath the car and I'll show you what needs to happen in order to get the diff out of it. Now this car's got 280,000 Ks on it, so there's a lot of gunk underneath it. First thing we need to do is we'll need to drop the exhaust. I'll need to remove a few bolts up over there for those two plates, which will be there to catch the drive shaft as well as the exhaust if ever it came off. So I've got to get that off. Pop this out of the rubber bushing over here so that can drop down and be out of the way. And then after that we need to undo this brace that sits underneath here for the diff. Then we need to, now this is where it gets dirty, so you can see we've got some Torx bolts over here and there's some build up over there, so I'll be putting some glasses on to make sure I don't get crap in my eyes the whole time. Clean it up as best as possible because you will strip these if you don't have them nice and clean. So I've got to take those off. Got to take there's stuff falling in my eyes already. Those off over there as well, and once you've got this brace off, we can remove the bolts that are sitting inside there as well for the drive shaft, so that's disconnected. And then it should be a simple case of dropping it. We'll need to remove this bolt at the back as well, and the chances are this whole diff will need to drop backwards at an angle. Let's do it. the hardest part is done, which is the drive shafts. These little Torx things are ridiculously sensitive. I cannot stress the importance enough of how important it is to make sure that the socket fits on these properly, because if you look at that one over there, it's been done by a previous person. I actually ended up hammering on my Torx socket onto that. It's important to do that because you'd want it set properly, otherwise you will strip that really easy. Everything about a BMW is built really strong, but their Torx nuts and bolts, yeah, they're not easy to play with at all. We've got the drive shafts off, and I'm not sure if it's replacement CVs or what it is, but yeah, there's stickers on there. So either new CVs in there or very well preserved ones. There's 2 bolts in front over here which need to come off, and then 1 large one at the back over here, and then we can take the ugly, dirty, open diff out. Then I'll show you the differences between the 2 diffs, grab another beer, and then get the new one in. Cool, diff's out. This is the one that's just come out of the car. So as you can see, when I turn the input shaft, 2 side shafts spinning normally when it's under load, but when I spin just the one side, you'll notice the other side actually spins the opposite way. So I'm going forward on that one, and that one's going backwards. All differentials are designed to do that, and the reason for it is there's a spider gear set that sits in here which allows them to spin at different speeds. Going over to the lock differential, this is the one from Diff Lab. Turning that over there, as you can see, the shafts are spinning. But the biggest difference is if I'm turning this one forward over here, you'll notice that that one is also spinning forward, which means that the wheels will always go the same direction, the same speed. It allows us to do skids. So I'll put this one up on the jack now, take it back underneath the car over there. It's gotten a bit late, but that's all good. I don't really care. Got a nice big Ryobi bendy light over there. So we'll get back underneath the car with the new diff, jack it up, put some bolts in there, and then start assembling the shafts onto the diff. Make sure you stay well hydrated and well fed. Pizza and beer break. Good news is the diff is in. The bad news is I don't have the correct key to open the fill plug for the diff. What I'll do is leave it up in the air like it is now. What we can do though is, because it's not under load, it's a low speed as well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in gear and start it up. and make sure that it runs and turns all freely. We got that one spinning over there, that one spinning over there, all nice and smooth. The next morning, got my hands on the correct adapter, which is just a 14mm hex socket. I've removed the plug from the diff. I've got some diff oil that's going to go in there now, and then we can get the wheels on. As soon as you get that, you know you're full. Make sure to check out our website at skidcontrol.com.au, Facebook /skidcontrol, Instagram is skid_control, and we'll see you at the track.